I'm real heavy like on cripping, period. I'm gonna do that to the day I die. Sometimes I ask the Lord, when I be asking the Lord for forgiveness, first thing pop up in my head is, why I can't stop being no crip though. You feel me? That's the first thing pop up in my head, like that's just something you feel me?
What it do, Rizzle fam? You know, ever since Quando Rondo lost his brother Lil Pab, he ain't been the same. He's having a pretty difficult time coping with the loss, and that's made him think twice about his gang affiliation and the choices he's made in the past. Quando wants to leave the gang life behind now, but it's really not that simple. You see, ever since Quando hinted at dropping the flag, he's been warned by the Crips, and it's been made more than clear to him why he should not do it. So what do the Crips really have to say about Quando's big decision? Okay, so news broke that Quando Rondo's dropping the flag, or in other words, Quando's leaving his gang behind. He no longer wants to be a part of the Rollin' 60s Crips, and that's it. The reason why Quando no longer wants to be involved in the gang life is not just because of all the people that he lost recently, but because of his personal struggles too. See, first, Quando ended up in a hospital after he had some sort of health issue that he did not share on his social media. The only thing he did say was this post on his Instagram story that said, "Pray for me, into hospital, fighting for my life, broken heart emojis, praying hand emojis, if you clean." We can only assume that he had some issues with codeine addiction or something like that. Luckily, he made it out of there. He's been doing better now, but this is only the beginning of all the struggles he's been going through. A week or so later, his homeboy Fendi was targeted and killed. On August 18th, Fendi was gunned down on the streets of Savannah. Phoenix Odom, aka Fendi, lost his life from a single gunshot wound on West 38th Street. Then, the infamous incident in LA happened where Quando Rondo and his homeboy Lil Pab were targeted in front of a gas station near Beverly Center Mall. Quando and Pab were visiting in LA, most likely for making a track or filming a video or something like that. They were just driving around, decided to pull up to a gas station, fill the tank up, and after Quando Rondo left Pab alone in their SUV, he started walking toward the gas station, and at that moment, another car pulled up to their SUV and started firing shots at their car. Since Quando wasn't near, he didn't suffer any injuries. However, Pab did suffer multiple wounds, and even the paramedics couldn't bring him back to life. Lil Pab, one of Quando's closest friends and someone that he considered a brother, passed that sad, sad day. There's no official story yet to confirm who the hitters were, but everyone suspects that it was gang-related, especially since it's no secret at all that Quando Rondo didn't check in that day when he got to LA. And not checking in once you're a gang member, it's a huge L, bro. You gotta pay credit where credit's due. For all we know, Quando and his friend Pab may have been tipped off even back at the airport. This video explains the situation clearly.
Well, you know what it is now, and just going a little bit on what Bimmy said and what you were just saying is that the youngsters get out and then they have to have an experience before they realize, I should have checked in. You know what I mean? Or I should have called, or I should have been moving a certain way. And so they get out, and they might be under your banner, but then they not respecting the banner. They ain't calling you. They got your number, they know who you is, but they feel like they bigger than the program. You know, and you got a lot of dudes, like when I was here last time, they claim my neighborhood that's in this music shit, but they don't really fuck with us until it's a problem. Then they call them. Like Quando Rondo. I just showed Envy. Like, you can't call me now. You can't call me when the fire hot. You didn't fuck with me before that. You had my number, you could have called me, you could have did all that. But he was around about, but how is that fair to me? How is that fair to our team?
People from LA all know what's up. That's the cost of doing gang work. When you coming out here, know that gang members work at these airports, hotels, and make you as soon as you touch down at LAX, especially if you out of town banger. Here's the deal with that. How these people operate is once you call, you owe them security and flight. Regardless of who did the hit, the damage has been done, and there's not much more to be said. Quando made a huge mistake, and he had to learn his lesson the hard way. As I've already briefly mentioned at the beginning of this video, ever since the LA incident, Quando ain't been the same. He's been grieving a lot on his IG stories. Because of Pab's death, Quando now wants to cut all ties he ever had with the Crips. See, we all got around this news because Quando Rondo decided to hop on his social media and share his thoughts with everybody. He wrote 2 long messages explaining what he's got on his mind and what he's planning on doing. The first IG story said, "Fuck everybody, I mean that shit. I f with a select few people in my circle, super tight. I f with Lil D, Trench, Los, Sirio, Big Dude, and Lil Tim. It's too much going on. Yo, many fingers pointing to many people talking behind my back. I got too much weight on my shoulders. I'm standing on all 10. I love Pab like as f but I'm not going to Cuz' funeral cause I know where me and Cuz stand at. Then he wrote another Instagram story, and this one explains in more detail about the gang situation. I'm not jump out gang either, ain't no loyalty in this. I'm my own man, I laid my flag down, I'm not NH, y'all ain't gonna ride for a dude for real. It's no sense of me being a part of y'all's y'all with the opposition. I don't give a who feel hit you, and if you can't feel where I'm coming from on this, you a bitch ass, cause I don't take rocket science to see what the going on. Everybody already hate me. I ain't tripping on the extra hate. I'm about to focus on my family. Jeez. There's a lot to be said about these two rants coming from Quando Rondo. Let's kick it off with the fact that a lot of people found this to be nothing but a foolish move. He publicly made the entire camp look bad. If you think about it, this is worse than any attempt at disrespecting an opposing street camp. To say that Quando's post made a social media wildfire would be an understatement. See, now he's got Crips coming his way from all sides. One of the guys who saw the rant was Jay Stone. Jay Stone is an LA rapper and someone rooted quite deep in the Crips gang life. He wanted Quando Rondo about how the street business goes. He used his Instagram to say this to Quando: you can't drop your flag and say you're not NH no mo. Go to the hood and get yo put off. Don't cry now, we lose homies all the time. Not everybody gonna ride. You was a goofy internet banger anyway. Everyone knows that leaving a gang ain't that simple. The fans especially. Once you NH, my boy. Better go to your hood so they can put you off. It's never pretty. One thing about the game, it ain't that easy to get out. Julio Fulio also saw what was going down with Quando. He too had a message for Quando's decision to drop the flag. He called Quando out on his Instagram saying, "Dog, homeboy died in Cali, he trying to squash beef and throw his flag in. It's too late for that, nephew." The part that Quando doesn't seem to understand is that you just can't go around claiming that you're gang and then turn your back on those same people once you suffer a loss. Being hurt and losing your close ones is part of that lifestyle. Unfortunately for Quando, just leaving when it gets bad is not how the gang life works. All the hate that he's been talking about in one of his 2 Instagram stories is because in his songs he claims that he's a stepper, someone who threatens others, someone who rides for his brothers, or for better or for worse. One could agree that he made his career rhyming about gang life. His lyrics have always been G-code related, so now when it's time to stand up and go through the bad times in life, he wants to quit. It's like he never meant any of the things he talked about in his music. Fans see nothing worthy of respect in that. Let's also go over some things that Quando talked about in the post. See, he also lied when he said that he couldn't attend Pab's funeral. In his post, you could clearly see that he said he wouldn't go to Lil Pab's funeral, yet he was seen at Lil Pab's funeral just a couple of days ago. Now, just that, he was seen carrying the coffin alongside his homie Lil Tim, who saved his life. Perhaps he said that in one of his posts thinking that his ops wouldn't come to the funeral for him. Maybe he actually didn't plan to go to the funeral, but cracked under pressure. We can't say for sure though. One thing is for certain, Quando saw all the posts that were meant for him. He also has something to say in response to those, possibly to the post of Jay Stone. This was his reply: "Before you go talk about another dude, sit back and think like I don't even got 200 bands, cause you need way more than that to stand with me. Get in my way, I'ma knock you down, simple, no cap." To make matters even more confusing, now he's sending threats again, even though he just said that he's through with gang stuff. Is he still about that gang life, or does he want out? We can't really say at this point. Quando Rondo seems to be contradicting himself at every step of the way. But what y'all think about the recent Quando Rondo rant? Do you think he posted that stuff even though he didn't mean it? Or do you think he really wants a fresh start? Is something like that even possible? Let us know what you think all about the Quando Rondo sitch in the comments section below. If you like this video, make sure to check out this next one. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button to our channel. And as always, remember to keep it Rizzle.